I created G-plans out of nutrition frustration. One day during nutrition studies at Duke University, we came across a revelation. We discovered that everyone has a completely unique metabolic structure and type. Eating a generic diet program will not get you the results you want, and you will continue on a path of yo-yo dieting forever. Ultimately, sustainable food programs are built within your own specific metabolic template.
I eat what Dr. G tells me to eat for my metabolic type. I don't call this program a diet because I eat more than on other programs.
Hello, and welcome to today's Nutrition Masterclass. I'm so glad you've joined me. We have a very interesting topic to discuss today and how nutrition can help support a more positive mood. So can help you feel better, but eating the wrong way can also help your mood feel not so great, bring your energy down, have you feeling not so positive. So we're going to discuss a little more into detail today what that looks like and what to focus on, what to really prioritize to help support a more balanced mood through nutrition. So I'm seeing a few people joining in today. Glad to see ya. I see Anna, Karen, Lisa, Greg, and Janine. So good to see you all. Glad you're here. As a reminder, please feel free to always add any questions that may come up throughout our presentation in the chat box today. I'm going to ask you a question or two as well in our presentation. So I'd love if you join in with me, and I'd love to take questions and have a little discussion at the end today. And as always, I'm going to have a special promotion we'll discuss at the end today. We do have a new promotion now, so you'll want to stay tuned for that and hear what that is at the end today. So we'll go over that promotion at the end, and all the information for that to take advantage of that promotion will be sent to your email. So we're going to jump right in, get started with this presentation, and feel free to add any comments, questions in that chat box there. All right. Okay, so nutrition and your mood. So this is our table of contents for what we're going to cover today. We're going to take an overview of nutrition and your mood. Next, we'll talk about what specifically to eat and what to avoid to help support your mood. We're going to discuss eating to balance your blood sugar levels. We'll talk about the gut-brain axis. Then we're going to go over my tip of the week. And lastly, we'll finish with that special promotion that I mentioned. All right, and you'll see here on the screen as well, this is my personal email. So if you have a question, maybe you don't want to type in the chat box here, please feel free to reach out to me individually. I would love to get back to you. Feel free to respond to that email. We're going to also add that for you in the chat box as well. Okay. So nutrition and the connection to your mood. Food is so important, obviously, not just for our physical health, but for our mental health as well. Growing research shows that what we eat every day can improve our mood and help to treat depression. Studies have shown that a diet that's higher in processed foods is associated with more of an increased risk for depression and anxiety. Going long hours without eating can also cause a drop in your blood sugar levels, leading to you maybe feeling tired and irritable. And the gut microbiome, which we've definitely discussed here in our master classes before, is part of a network called the gut-brain axis and directly impacts our mood. So we're going to dive a little deeper into these topics today. First, what do you eat to help support your mood? Research has shown that consuming foods that are more highly processed, high in calories and yet low in nutrients, is associated with an increased risk for depression. Diets that prioritize whole foods and include a variety of fruits and vegetables are shown to help support a more positive mood. Making these positive changes to your diet can help to improve your mood, give you more energy, and help you to think more clearly as well. So, big overview here. What to really focus on eating more of. You want to get a good variety of fruits and vegetables. So different types of fruits and vegetables. Make sure you're kind of rotating that, not eating the same couple choices all the time. Going to want to focus on whole grains. I know, again, there's a lot of diets out there right now that are very low in carbs, and we do definitely need carbs for consistent weight loss, for our health overall, and to support a positive mood as well. And lastly, omega-3 fatty acids. So these are those healthy fats you think of in salmon and avocados. Want to focus on getting more of these healthy fats, which will definitely help to boost your mood overall as well. And what to focus on eating less of. You want to focus on eating less highly processed foods as a whole. Minimize refined grains. So if you are reducing processed foods, that's kind of going to go hand in hand, focusing more on, again, whole grains, carbohydrate sources that are rich in fiber and minimally processed. And lastly, caffeine and alcohol. We're going to touch on those a little bit more later, but obviously, caffeine's a stimulant, alcohol is a depressant. They will mess with your mood overall. So best to avoid those as best you can. All right. So eating to balance blood sugar levels. So important. Growing evidence shows a relationship between mood and blood sugar fluctuations, highs and lows. Symptoms of blood sugar fluctuation can closely mirror mental health symptoms such as irritability, anxiety, and worry. You could also refer to this as hunger. This should come as no surprise, though, as the brain preferred source of fuel is glucose. So when we don't have that continuous flow of glucose, it makes sense that we're having a little issues with our mood, with our energy levels as well. So prevent from skipping meals. When you eat, as on top of what you eat, can also have an effect on your mood. If you go long periods of time without eating, this can cause a drop in blood sugar that can cause you to feel more cranky and fatigued. If you consume a larger portion and you feel too full, you might also find you're feeling a little tired and lethargic after that meal. Eating a moderate-sized meal on a consistent schedule will help maintain steady blood sugar levels and will result in a more balanced mood. So if you are a G-Plans member, follow your meal plan. Try to prevent skipping meals as best you can. G-Plans is a great way to ensure that you're eating balanced, you're eating consistently as well. So go ahead and track your meals. Make sure you're staying on track that way. So the gut-brain axis. The gut-brain axis is the biochemical signaling that takes place between the gastrointestinal tract and the central nervous system. The nervous system can send signals that affect the gastrointestinal tract, and the state of the gut microbiome can also influence the brain and nervous system. Neurotransmitters like dopamine and serotonin affect our mood in different ways. We often associate these with the brain, but they are closely linked to and often even created in the gut. When the gut microbiome has an imbalance of bacteria, this is called dysbiosis. This can lead to chronic inflammation in the gut and contribute to mental disorders. prioritizing the health of your gut microbiome is essential to also help support a more positive mood. So, obviously, our gut is so closely tied to our nervous system. I would suggest, for a little bit of a deeper dive on this subject as well, to go to our tab on YouTube that says Live, scroll down, and you'll be able to view prior nutrition masterclasses. And I do have one I've made on the gut microbiome. So that would be a great little deeper dive to get a little more information on this specifically. And a few more additional tips here as well, going back to the caffeine and alcohol intake. Caffeine is a stimulant. Too much can keep you awake at night and cause difficulty concentrating. Alcohol is a depressant, which means it does slow down brain activity. Initially, you may feel relaxed, but it can worsen symptoms of depression. So if you're really focused on supporting your mood, I would say for both of these, try to reduce them as much as possible. I know caffeine as a whole too. If you're having, say, 1 cup of coffee a day, that's not going to be a huge factor. So try your best to reduce those things, avoid them as best you can. Next, like I mentioned already, prioritize those fruits and vegetables. So whole food options, consuming a diet rich in multiple types of fruits and vegetables has been shown to help support a positive mood and a healthy gut microbiome. So in individuals that have more diversity in their gut bacteria, it's shown that those individuals tend to eat a wider variety of vegetables. So that's one way to really prioritize the health of your gut as well. And lastly here, stay hydrated. Over 70% of our brain is made up of water, so it makes sense that being dehydrated is going to compromise how we're feeling. Aim to drink at least about a ½ ounce of water for each pound that you weigh to avoid headaches, poor concentration, and low mood. So, water, super important. I know we know that, but for how you're feeling as well, for sure. And I did have a quick question here. I'd love if you shared with me in the chat box here. In what ways do you notice how nutrition may affect your mood and mental state? Let me know if there's anything you've noticed personally. Go ahead and add that in the chat box, and I'd love to talk a little bit at the end here today. All right, whoop, skipped ahead there. So my tip of the week here is small goals add up to big changes. So keep your goals small. Small goals set you up for success. When you reach them, you can set a new goal to continue progressing forward. Set a regular time to check in with your goals and maybe adjust them if needed as well. This is a big one here. So with this being the new year, we can get very focused on setting outcome goals versus process goals. Focus on setting those process goals that focus on the journey rather than outcome goals that are less specific and are only focused on the end result. So very common to hear with New Year's resolutions, I want to lose 20 pounds this year. But again, that's very focused on the outcome. It's best to keep those goals very small, focus on the journey, focus on that process, and think, what's the first smallest step that I need to take to focus on my goal of losing 25 pounds? It might look like increasing your water intake. And that may be your first step, and that's fantastic. Setting those small goals, really checking in with them on a regular basis, and then building new goals consistently is going to help you to reach that ultimate outcome you're looking for. And with that being said, don't focus on too much at once as well. When you're focusing on too many goals at once, you may be starting a meal plan, starting an exercise routine. You might have multiple other goals going on at the same time. This can cause you to sometimes feel a bit overwhelmed. This can eventually lead to having you fall off track. So set just a couple of goals at a time, maybe one at a time. You can even do this by the week, every couple of weeks, and ensure they're very realistic for you to achieve. So I know we can be tempted to set those big outcome goals. Really focusing on that process, taking it one baby step at a time, is really going to help you to get there and be the most successful. All right. And last thing here is our special promotion that I mentioned. So this is a new promotion this week. We do have 50% off our lean supplement. So that's a great supplement to look into if you're wanting just a little extra boost with your progress. Can help really stabilize blood sugar levels and help to really just give your metabolism a bit of a boost alongside your meal plan. So check this out in your email. You will receive 50% off that supplement today. Definitely check that out and take advantage of that deal. All right, this does bring me to the end of our presentation. So if you have any other questions, anything you'd like to add in that chat box, please go ahead and do so. All right. Okay. Hey, Beth. Good to see you from Atlanta. You just joined. Welcome to G Plans. Glad you're here. And Cindy as well. She said she's a newbie. It's so good to see you, Cindy. So do feel free. I see you're both just starting. Again, feel free to reach out to us. You can email me as well if you have any more specific questions I could help with. Jesse here says, when I keep added sugar down, it does help my mood. That's a great observation and so true. Goes back to what we were discussing with blood sugar fluctuations. So as much as you can eat consistently, focus on less refined products. You're going to help stabilize your blood sugar levels. And in turn, like Jesse said, that will also really help to support a stable mood. So make sure you're not skipping those meals. You're eating consistently balanced portions for sure. All right. And Beth says as well, when I keep stay away from gluten, my joints don't hurt and I don't get bloated. That's huge. Again, I know everyone can be a little different when it comes to certain foods they might find that they're sensitive to as well. So it's really important to pay attention and notice what foods that you might find you might have a bit of a sensitivity to. Again, at G Plans, all of our plans are going to really avoid gluten, and we do not have dairy. We find that can be more inflammatory for majority of people. So it's a good plan to start that way if you are a little cautious of certain foods you might be sensitive to. Kelly says, any suggestions on lessening the bathroom trips at night from the water? That's a great one. I would suggest within an hour or two of you going to bed, go ahead and cut off that water intake for the day. So as much as you can try to start your water intake first thing in the morning. So if you get up before you have coffee, before anything else, go ahead and have at least a full glass of water. Get started early in the morning, and then about an hour, maybe 2 hours before you do go to bed, go ahead and cut off that water intake. That will help to ensure that you can go ahead and sleep through the night. And ensure too, we do have a couple goals if you're following G Plans for water intake. You'll see the lower end is about a 1/2 ounce of water for each pound that you weigh, up to 1 full ounce of water for each pound that you weigh. That could be a little bit different for each person. So you might find for you, might work a little bit better to shoot for that 1/2 ounce for each pound. So find what works for you, kind of cut it off a little bit before bed. All right, and I see Rochelle says, How can you plan nutritious meals when you're on the road half the week and staying in a hotel for work? That can be tough. Absolutely. First off, Rochelle, I would suggest some of my past nutrition masterclass presentations. I have one on how to eat healthy when you're traveling, and another on how to eat healthier when you are eating out. So I think both of these will have some additional tips that can help when you are traveling so frequently. I would definitely say to check those out. Feel free to send me an email too. Sometimes as well, Rochelle, certain situations, it might really benefit you to work one-on-one with a nutritionist so that we could build a really personalized plan for you that fits into your lifestyle. So I would suggest checking out those presentations. Feel free to reach out to me, and we'd love to work with you one-on-one as well. And Beth says, can you print out a few days meals to plan and prep? Yes, Beth. If you have access to your plan through our app, there's another way you can access your plan on a computer desktop where you could definitely do that. You'll go to the G Plans website, and in the top right-hand corner of the page, you're going to see a login button. So if you click there, log in using your email, your login information, that will allow you, so you can jump on a computer, print things out that way as well. So, all right. I hope today was a really helpful presentation. I think a lot of the times we think about nutrition improving our physical health so much, but it really does play such a huge role in our mental health and how we're feeling. So using a couple of these tips from today, focus again on making those small changes that work for you, building on that, and stay in tune with this too. Like I said, with maybe certain foods you're sensitive to. It's good sometimes to journal and notice different habits, different routines that you might have fallen into and how they may not be serving you. So you might find certain foods that you've started eating more frequently are affecting your mood. Journaling these things can really help you to stay aware of that. All right. Well, that does bring us to the end of our presentation today. I do encourage you, please feel free, if anything else more personal, please feel free to reach out to me via my email. It is savannah.wilson@g-plans.com. And I hope you'll tune in with me for next week's Nutrition Masterclass. We're going to discuss next week on easy ways to prioritize whole foods. So again, we've talked a lot about focusing more on whole foods today on our presentation. Next week, we're going to talk about how to make that a little bit easier, how to reduce prep time, how to make that a little bit simpler to eat a diet based mainly around whole foods. So yes, you're so welcome, Rochelle. Glad to see everybody tuning in today, and hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. And I hope to see you next week on another Nutrition Masterclass.